The Kofi Mania nostalgic run has ran its course. To me, it has officially jumped the shark. Last week, when he had the gauntlet match to Elimination Chamber, that should have been when Kofi, realistically, should have been given the WWE title. And of course, I would not have had to carry him to Fastlane. I would have had Bryan got the belt back ASAP because Kofi Kingston winning the title was just to capitalize on a lightning in the bottle moment that, quite frankly, the lightning in that bottle is starting to rapidly disappear. Kofi Kingston, Kofi Kingston's little Cinderella story has officially lost the juice. There's nothing left for me to care about when it comes to this man. When Fastlane concludes, Daniel Bryan should be walking out with the championship. Kofi Kingston should be going back to what he was before being put in the gauntlet match as a substitute. Go back to obscurity. I do not wish to see you anymore. You were given a spot that was originally for Mustafa Ali, a fresh-faced guy and a talent who was much better than you in the ring anyway. Kofi Kingston 10 years ago, I was a fan of. Randy Orton killed his push, and 10 years later, why do I care about this man again? I don't. I still don't care about Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston has lost all luster to me. There's nothing about him that screams out world champion. And if you even use the Jinder Mahal example on me, I will shut that shit down. Mahal was given the title to push a political agenda. That's it. That is the extent of Jinder Mahal's reign as the champion, was to push a political agenda and to gain ground in India. Wasn't meant because he was a good talent, wasn't meant for anything. It was meant to manipulate the Indian audience into thinking that one of their own could be a world champion. And to get their money. Kofi Kingston, he's just a flavor of the week who got red hot for a week, and now his momentum, to me, it's cooling off. And actually, it is cooling off. Because now the realization starting to sink in. The realization that people want a man who has been irrelevant for the last 5 to 6 years, has been nothing more than a tag team wrestler for the last 5 to 6 years, has been made to look like a fucking joke for 5 to 6 years, wears unicorn horns on his head that look like penises, gyrates with a low-cut shirt like he's going to fucking like a magic Mike concert. Can't even talk. And oh yeah, and he likes to rub pancakes all over himself. Yeah, Kofi Kingston right now screams world title contender. Fuck you. Kofi Kingston screams out mid-card for life. That's what he is. That's what he'll always be. You want a real main eventer who's of the same skin color as Kofi Kingston? Push Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, I've always been a Shelton Benjamin fan. And if you want to talk about grizzled veterans, who is more grizzled than Shelton Benjamin? Nobody. Not only that, Shelton Benjamin, at 45 years old, the guy still looks in great shape. The guy can still go in the ring. And what's he doing? He's in catering, collecting dust. How do you have a talent like Shelton Benjamin and you have nothing for him? That does not make any sense to me. Instead of giving Shelton Benjamin this Cinderella story and potentially building up a Benjamin Bryan match, which I see more intrigue in because you have the ungodly athleticism and wrestling skills of Shelton Benjamin. You put that against Daniel Bryan, that could be for a very fun and pretty down and gritty match. I'll be down to see Benjamin versus Bryan. I think those two guys can put on a hell of a match. Kofi and Bryan, I just don't have no desire for it. They had a good little match at Elimination Chamber when they're in the final two. That's the end for me. Now we're going to force a Fastlane match. And what did Kofi Kingston even do to even earn a shot at Fastlane? Nothing. He didn't win a contenders match. What, because he pinned a guy in a six-man tag? I'm supposed to believe he can now beat Bryan? Because he pinned him in a gauntlet match? I'm supposed to believe this? If the same thing was happening with Mustafa... See, the thing with Mustafa Ali is that he had already gotten pairs of wins over Bryan before the gauntlet match would have happened with him in it. So if this whole thing was happening with Mustafa Ali, no one would have had a legitimate argument to counter with me for, because From the second Ali went to SmackDown, he got 2 wins over Daniel Bryan. Kofi Kingston just pinned him once in a gauntlet match. That's it. Enough with this with the forced notion of Kofi Mania is running wild. Kofi Mania is running wild into the ground where it belongs. You want to push black athletes? Shelton Benjamin, he's 10 times better than Kofi Kingston. He's a more grizzled veteran than Kofi Kingston, and Shelton Benjamin deserves to get one big monster push before he calls it in. Big E, who I think is grossly underrated for a big man, should be pushed like Mark Henry as this dominant ass kicker. Instead, he's just sucking ass in the New Day, rubbing pancakes all over himself and pulling pancakes all out of his dick. When we ask for new faces in the main event scene, we mean we want new faces. Not these fucking forced pushes that Kofi Kingston is now about to have. It was organic when he was shoved in the gauntlet match. Now, you're going to force it. And I am jumping off this bandwagon before it breaks down. Because if you people want to be on this broken Kofi bandwagon, by all means, run that shit to Fastlane. And I hope Daniel Bryan makes the man tap out so that cake can be thrown in all your faces. Because whoever thinks Kofi's going to walk out with the title at Fastlane, you're either delusional or you have no concept of wrestling. Because why would the company take the title off Bryan before Mania? Why would the company, who had just made him a custom championship, take that belt off him before Mania? It makes no logical sense. When you actually put sense into it, it makes no sense for Kofi to win. It makes no sense for Kofi to even have this push. Then, like I said 6,000 times, it was given to him out of necessity. Mustafa Ali got hurt. They threw in Kofi to fill in the gap. Personally speaking, I would have shoved in Shelton Benjamin because he deserves it more. Kofi Kingston, like I said, once Fastlane concludes, put Kofi Kingston back where he belongs, at the bottom of the barrel. I don't want to see his dumb ass anymore. He can go back to rubbing pancakes all over his ass, rubbing pancakes all over his face, putting chocolate syrup all over himself while eating pancakes. I do not want to see this joke as the world champion. If you don't like what I have to say, let me know down below. If you like what I had to say, let me know down below. Like this video or dislike this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will check you back for more.